lead 20 and basically put it away. Welcome in to our post-game coverage, Playoff Central Live, presented by State Farm. Matt Weiner, Steve Smith, Brendan Haywood right there. I'm almost legally obligated to remind you that teams with a 3-0 lead have never blown that lead in a best-of-7 NBA playoff series, 142-0 to this point. So not great news if you're a Nuggets fan. And frankly, if you watch the games, you probably already feel that way.
Yeah, I do. I mean, nothing Denver is doing. They just have lack of talent going up against this Phoenix Suns team. If they had Jamal Murray and P.J. Dozier, that size, I mean, B-Wood, you look at the backcourt scoring, it's 56-11, the starters for them. And Monte Morris, he came out and played well. They just don't have enough. When you can have a guy get 32, 20, and 10, and that's not enough, that just tells you you're undermanned. You don't have the talent level to go up against a Phoenix Suns. And then also, not only that, you have a guy that's controlling the pace. And I think they're not making Chris Paul uncomfortable. They don't have anybody offensively.
They don't have the personnel to make him uncomfortable.
Offensively or defensively to make him, because they're not even making him work defensively. Usually you can have a guy going at him, making him get tired.
Joker in the pick and roll, and they've been playing a drop because the Joker's feet aren't that quick. So now Chris Paul, he's one of the best guards at attacking drops. Now he gets to come in there, get to his floater, his mid-range, he can throw a lob, or he can throw the cross-court pass to the corner. So Chris Paul couldn't have picked a better second-round opponent than the Denver Nuggets, especially with them being as unhealthy as they are. Look at that tonight. 27 points, 9 of 16. But just like I said, I'm looking at the efficiency. I'm looking at him being the true floor general, leading the pace, making sure that everybody eats and that this offense runs smoothly. Everybody feels like they're a part of it, and that's because of CP3. And I while being enamored by CP3, I also feel bad for Denver. Because if you're Denver, you have to think, if we had Jamal Murray, if we had P.J. Dozier, if Will Barton wasn't just coming back, what type of ball club would we have? And then more importantly, if you have Jamal Murray, now Michael Porter Jr. gets kicked back into the right spot. He becomes the third option instead of the second option. I don't know if he's ready to be a second option in the playoffs just yet. The playoffs are showing Michael Porter Jr. what he has to work on in his game this offseason. He has to be better at posting up and taking advantage of smaller players, because right now he is incredible coming off of pin downs and flare screens to get open. But when teams take that away, what does he go to next? He doesn't have a counter for that. That's what the summer's going to be about.
He had a couple threes late in the game to get him to 15 points on the night, but he had a hot start. He had a couple buckets at the very end of the game. In between, couldn't hit a thing.
Nice.
And the issues are really on the other end are larger, I think, for Denver. Phoenix is just getting whatever they want, 53% shooting. You saw Chris Paul's shot chart. That pick and roll with the drop coverage is just killing Denver so far. It's felt to me since this series started like one of the guys that Denver could really use is playing on the other team. That's Torrey Craig, who played with the Nuggets. And that's the kind of defender they could really find handy in this series.
Yeah, for sure. And I think P.J. Dozier, I think Torrey Craig is a better defender, but he's a guy on both ends can use his size. When you start having P.J. Dozier, Will Barton, who has great size, Monte Morris coming off the bench, when it's starting Jamal Murray, just think if Jamal Murray was starting. Who does Chris Paul guard? If you had Will Barton and Jamal Murray starting.
Got to guard somebody.
You got to guard somebody. It puts him in a difficult situation. Now your bench is stronger. And I think now, like you said, Michael Porter is a guy that now it's hard to load up against him. It's just unfortunately for them. They have struggled with guys with injuries throughout this, series. And DeAndre Ayton, I just give him credit, and their young guys, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. It seems like every game they growing, and they're comfortable.
DeAndre Ayton, not huge numbers tonight. He had 15 rebounds, 10 points, but we've said it before on this set many times. He's just grown into his role. He doesn't try to do too much. He does exactly what the Suns need from him. By the way, breaking news tonight, Chris Paul had multiple turnovers. 2. He had 1 for the series in the first 2 games. He had 2 tonight, so that's a 34 assist to 3 turnover ratio for the series. And for the playoffs so far, 80 assists and 12 turnovers.
He's real comfortable. In the playoffs, it's all about making guys uncomfortable, making guys do things that they don't want to do. And so when he's able to come off that screen and roll and probe, boy, he's having fun. He feels like he's back at Wake Forest, just running around Winston-Salem, finding guys for lobs and whatever. Like, it's just Chris Paul feels so comfortable right now because Denver can't make him uncomfortable. They can't speed him up.
Not at all.
They can't get the ball out of his hands. And then what you said, sometimes your best defense is offense. They can't even go at him at the other end with pick and rolls and post ups. So it's not looking very good for Denver. But tip your cap. Denver has had an incredible season with the injuries that they've had to be at this point. Got to tip your cap to Denver.
Did you just write the obituary? Did you?
Yeah, it's over.
Okay.
Getting there.
Yeah, it's over. Like, hey, we got any brooms back there?
We're calling
Where
for
our
a
cameraman?
sweep.
Cornfed,
Calling for
you
a
got any
sweep.
brooms back there?
I can't argue. I can't argue with it.
No, it is.
Phoenix is a better team, obviously, right now.
A guy gets 32, 20, and 10.
I was going to get to that. Yeah.
In an ugly loss.
And you never felt that they had a chance to win, even with that 32, 20, and 10. What else can he do? You're going to have a miraculous game by somebody else, like Will Barton has to come up with 25, 30.
Right.
Aaron Gordon's going to have a day. Not very strong. He's a wide body. Doesn't move his feet well, and he's dominating.
Third ever 30-20-10 postseason game. Kareem and Wilt Chamberlain, the other two guys, have done it.
Now listen, man, but you know what? Hey, as great as the Joker's playing, you know what time it is. Hey.
You got it out.
That's the ones you get from the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, they caught it. Hey, that's just the one we got in the back right there.
That's a high quality. That's a high quality room.
Is it?
It's a wrap. It's a wrap for Denver.
It's production value.
It's a wrap
That's
for
what
Denver.
that is.
Get your sweep on.
Yeah.
Do you believe it's going to be a sweep?
I was just wondering. What I used to use when I was growing up was a wood. It's not wood.
No, it's not wood. It's a
Times change.
little
Times
aluminum,
change.
but you know,
Wood. We
Different
have-
it
materials.
still gets the job done. It's pretty much going to be a sweep for the Phoenix Suns and this organization. Monty Williams has done an incredible job. No disrespect to Tibbs, but I thought Monty Williams should have been coach of the year. No disrespect, but that's just
He
who.
was number one on my ballot.
Yeah, I would have voted if I got a vote. For some reason, I never get a vote for these type of things. But Monty Williams is doing a great job. Devin Booker is growing up right before our eyes. He's becoming a true young superstar. And in the playoffs, that's where you announce your name. Fans have been hearing about Devin Booker for years, but they really haven't been paying attention because Phoenix hasn't been winning. Now that they're winning, and now that he's doing it in the playoffs, people know it's not a fluke. Now you're going to see Devin Booker's name elevated a lot in this league moving forward.
Matt and B. Wood, I think James Jones is the guy who should get some credit.
Oh, yeah. He might be GM of the year this year.
I hope so, but I don't know if a lot of people have been talking about James Jones, the job he's done and the guys he's put together. Everybody said, we got
roster.
Chris Paul, but it's just been others. He's plugged in Jay Crowder. I mean, he's done a nice job. Cameron Payne is a huge pickup for the Phoenix.
Huge pickup. You got to go to the powers that be about getting a vote.
I know.
You got to ask. You got to ask.
Why don't I ever get a vote?
Well, you got to ask somebody.
I should get a vote for sure. You get a vote, Smitty?
I get a vote.
You serious?
Serious.
I'm the only person up here that doesn't get a vote.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call somebody. I'm gonna call our bosses. Tara August. Somebody. Got
Remember,
to get a vote.
after the game 2 loss, Michael Malone said his guys quit. He was really hard on them. It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say about this game 3 loss. Here he is.
Michael, obviously it seemed like the effort was significantly better, but obviously not the result you wanted. What do you say to your guys after this?
Yeah, I would agree, Mike. I thought our guys played really hard. You know, I think we left it all out there. I really think this game came down to two things. One, the turnovers, right? We had 20 points. We allowed 20 points off our turnovers, and they only had 6 points off there. That's a 14-point differential. And obviously to have 20 points allowed in a playoff game, it's something that you can't do if you expect to win against a very good team. The second thing, I think that game was lost on our part the last 2 minutes of that third quarter. And I remember talking to our guys in the huddle. It was 23-19 that quarter. We were struggling. We struggled all night to make shots. But our defense was keeping us afloat. And I think that the overall score at that point was 82-74. So we're within range. We're in striking distance. They closed that quarter on an 8-2 run, and they start the fourth quarter on a 6-0 run. So that 14-2 run was insurmountable. And we can't afford to allow those runs to happen offensively and defensively. But yeah, the effort was there, but let's be honest. I mean, this is game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals. I'm tired of people saying, hey, our guys played hard. They should play hard. I mean, like that's not something to be proud about. I mean, that's our job, to go out there and compete and play hard. That should be a given. So they did that tonight. And it's just unfortunate. Our crowd was great. Can't thank them enough. Obviously, Nicola's award before the game was a tremendous moment for Nikola, this team, this franchise, this city, and this fans. But they were great tonight, and I just feel bad that we weren't able to pull out a win for them because they made this atmosphere electric, and we just came up short.
Katie Wingy, Good Sports.
Hey, Coach, can you describe the lift that Monte Morris and Will Barton gave you off the bench tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I challenged Monte today. I hit him up, I sent him a text, and I just said, which Monte is going to show up tonight? Is it going to be Monte Morris from game 5 and 6 against Portland? Or is it going to be Monte Morris from game 1 and 2 against Phoenix? And I let him know how important he was to this team and that we needed him. And I knew that he was going to embrace that message and come out and play at a high level, and he did that, Katie. Obviously, Will Barton, I played him too many minutes, 28. But once again, I thought both he and Monte came into the game. We got off to a slow start. We didn't defend anybody in that first quarter. But I thought Will and Monte gave us a lift, gave us a spark. And I said after the first quarter, we were lucky to be down just by 10. Second quarter, I thought we played terrific, especially on defense. But it's really hard to win a game when you struggle to make shots and miss the number of quality looks that we got. And that's been the story of this series. They're a good defensive team, taking nothing. Oh, I think frustration. I think we all know that we're playing a good team in the Phoenix Suns. We all know that we're not completely healthy, but we also know we're playing better than we have played in these 3 games. And I think we gave ourselves a chance, like I said earlier, Jacob, 2 minutes to go in the third, but right there, this is going to be a great fourth quarter, and it's funny how quickly a game can change. We saw that in game 1 in Phoenix. We saw it early in that third quarter in game 2. And tonight, the end of that third, start of the fourth, that 2, 3, 4 minute stretch was enough to decide this ball game. So I'd say the mood is definitely one of frustration. My only thing to our guys is we're down 3-0. We can't try to win 4 games in a row in game 4. Our whole focus is on trying to win a game. And I know for myself, I can't speak for anyone else, the last thing I want to see is the Phoenix Suns pushing a broom across that court after game 4. We have had a tremendous season, tremendous. I said going into this year, you can't judge a season by the end result. We got to the Western Conference Finals last year. Well, certain things can happen where we could have a better season this year and not get as far. But the one thing I don't want is for us to go out just quietly into that good night. I hope we show some real fight and resolve and force this series to go back to Phoenix for a game 5.
Hey, Michael, I think there were a couple situations in that third quarter, definitely in the second half, where they kind of extend that lead to double digits and then they get second chance threes. I think one was Devin Booker in the corner. I think another one was Cam Johnson. Just how frustrating is that to kind of, I think you get back to 7 and then you give up the second chance 3.
Yeah, it's always, frustrating. We dominated the glass tonight, 46-38. We had 18 offensive rebounds for 21 points. But when you're trying to make that comeback, to your point, there's one possession that I remember vividly. It's a loose ball. It's a loose ball, and who wants it? Who's going to come up with it? And, they come up with a loose ball, they get a 3. They come up with an offensive rebound, they get a 3. You make it really hard on yourself to succeed in that comeback attempt when you don't come up with those rebounds and/or loose balls. So, that was definitely unfortunate in those instances.
Harrison Wynn, DNVR.
Hey, Michael, I know you talked a little throughout this series about just the mental and physical fatigue that Nicole is probably experiencing right now. If he goes out tonight, it seems like he's really gave it everything he got. What do you think of his night?
More, we're going to end with Brandon Cristall, KOA Denver.
So I guess I'm going to cheat a little and ask you about MPJ and Will Bart, how they feel physically, and then also what do you say to your team for being down on 3 historically, certainly not on your side?
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as Michael, obviously it's been a tough series for him so far. I mean, that's just, that's the facts. That's what the numbers say. He's trying. He made a couple of threes late, but he's just got to stay with it. He's a second-year player. He still has a tremendous amount of room for growth and improvement. And these kind of trials by fire are only going to speed up that process and his maturation. Will Barton, again, I'll have to go talk to him, our trainers. The training staff is probably going to be really upset with me for playing him 28 minutes. But a conversation that Will and I had, he understood the risks that were inherent with playing that many minutes, but he wanted to put himself out there and try to do whatever he could to help his team. As far as the 3-0 deficit, yes, history is not on our side, but you know what? We have rewritten history the last couple of years. When we were down 3-1 twice last year, it was never about trying to win 3 more games. It was about winning the next game, winning the first quarter, winning the second quarter, and that's got to be our mindset. My only hope is that we haven't let go of the rope, because what history tells us. My only hope is that come Sunday afternoon, evening, whenever that game is, that our guys show up and fight. I think they deserve it. Their teammates deserve that, and our fans deserve that. To go out there and leave it all on the line, and then you can walk off the floor with your head held high. Thank you.